Okay, and we're back with Division 1 for the preseason race at Blue Moon Bay Speedway, excuse me. I am joined by my co-commentator Token Timmy. Token Timmy, how are you doing today?
Good evening. I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to seeing Division One race after that very interesting Division Two race.
Yeah, so we have I think a full 14 car grid for the race today at for Division 1. I believe all Division One drivers, maybe except for one. I think Lugi is joining us today. That's not going to be running in the league, but will be running today. And it looks like, I don't know, does it look like it's misty? Does it rain at Blue Moon? I don't think it does.
Not in America currently in the GT7 races, but Florida, it does rain and it is, you know, it should be raining here.
Okay, yeah. So although it looks kind of like misty, I think it's actually not going to be any weather conditions at Blue Moon. So luckily, we won't have any of that shenanigans for our Division 1 race. We'll go through. So we just started qualifying. Drivers will have 10 minutes to put down a fast lap. So Anthony Colazo right now finishing up his first hot lap and puts down, I think, a 646.6. And as I say that, Toasty takes the top position as always with a 46 flat, but we'll expect to see times in the 45s for pole position.
Sorry, I'm just having a little issue viewing the screen right now.
Yeah, let me know if you need me to do anything. Technical difficulties on broadcast are always going to happen. So Willie right now currently sitting in second place, and oh, look at this, only 0.02 of a second in front of Stoles. So an incredibly tight field. And as I say that, Harm's Way jumps into second place just below Toasty. Zukost, having a debut race here at the league, is currently running in fifth. And the times here today are going to be extremely close for qualifying, as seen as the lap times are only around the 45-second mark. DS Love currently sitting in sixth place, Dutra in seventh, Ryan Higgs USA in eighth place, Nixon ninth, Anthony Colazo 10th, Dinosaur in 11th. Dinosaur making a last-minute jump to the Division 1 due to a scheduling need for one of our drivers. So Luki Akon is in 12th, Kip Dunkel in 13th, and Ryder in 14th at the moment. Looks like Ryder has picked up damage on the front right of the car. Jumps into the pits and jumps right back out in order to reset the car and reset the damage. So let me take a look at looks like Token Timmy's having issues here with the broadcast.
Yeah.
So, maybe after qualifying, I'll restart this screen share and see if that fixes things.
Sounds good. I appreciate that one. But yeah, I'm having some issues on my computer.
I mean, every time you do stuff like this, there's always technical issues. But I guess maybe we can talk about stuff that's not on screen at the moment with you. So in terms of being someone who's participated in the league, what advice would you give to new people coming in, especially for beginners, like for the drivers for Division 2?
There's a learning curve, but also You pick up on it really fast. Usually it only takes 1 or 2 races to get the kind of swing of things. Everything is cohesive. Like all the team members kind of input a little bit together to make the flow of the race. So everyone working together makes the race what it is. So sometimes there's incidents, maybe a little punting in the beginning, cold tires usually on the first corner, but you work past that. You work with your teammates, and amount of learning and practicing available during the week will make you improve vastly in a short amount of time.
Most definitely. And I think that's what separates LRC from a lot of the other leagues out there for GT7. In general, LRC is a community where we prioritize learning and improving above everything else in the community. And our league is a reflection of that. So, for those who are new and joining us, the league is actually composed of 28 drivers across 2 divisions. And then we run a qualifying shootout to determine teams. So each team will have 4 people on them. 2 of each will be in the first division, and 2 will be in the second division, paired based off of lap time. So, for example, Team 1 has the first position driver of Division 1 and the last position driver of Division 1, paired with the 2 middle drivers of Division 2. So typically what happens is the faster drivers will serve as mentors for the rest of the team. And seeing as they all have the same car this year, it makes it exceptionally easier for them to help out with the Division 2 drivers.
That's especially true because the tune is quite locked on these vehicles due to the spec racing, and that will prove to take a lot of some variables out of not the scare, but when you have a full custom suspension and you're running GR4 and GR3 cars, it was a fine line to get the car how you wanted it, and you didn't know if it was for good or for bad sometimes.
So as we have about 2 minutes left in qualifying, Toasty still maintains the first position, and Diaslov here jumps up into second place. I think that was a couple laps ago. And check this out. So Diaslov, Willie, and so Diaslov is only 7 thousandths of a second in front of Willie, and Willie is only 12 thousandths of a second in front of Stoles, who's in front of Harm's Way by 1/10 of a second. So an extremely tight field here, and Diaslov improves their lap time but does not improve their position. Ducost in 6th place, Lugi in 7th, Ryder currently sitting in 8th place, Ryan Higgins 9th, NLR Nixon in 10th. Anthony, with a strong start, is ended up in 11th place, with Kip in 12th and Dinosaur in 13th. So pretty mixed bag right now of results at the moment, but an incredibly tight field, like being separated by only like thousandths of a second. And as I say that, so Diaslov jumps into the provisional pole position, beating Toasty by 12 hundredths of a second. It's so close. So we might see this season a contender for first place here and a rival for Toasty, seeing that Hubble is not participating in this season.
It's always good when there is some built-in rivalries that happen right off the get-go, when you have someone that matches your skill and talent, and you guys can go battle it out on the track. It provides for great commentary and video as well.
So Timmy, your mic is like kind of low in volume.
Oh, okay, I'll see if I can do
Oh,
something
there you go.
about
That's
that.
better. If you're just, I think it's
Okay.
just distance. Maybe keep the same distance from your mic or something. Okay, so it looks like across the 10-minute mark, drivers are crossing the start-finish line for the last time, and the positions won't look like they changed from a couple laps ago. Zukos jumped into fifth, pushing Harm's Way down one position to sixth. And it looks like the rest of the positions are similar. While we're waiting for the qualifying session to end, I'm gonna restart my share screen to see if Timmy can view it this time.
I cleared my cache, so hopefully that will help as well.
All right. It's always good to get these things sorted out in the preseason race before we start the real thing. All right, so I restarted the share screen and let me know if that helps.
I clicked on it. Let's see. It wants to load. It's frozen. Cannot display the host screen. No, 2 times it says I cannot. It gives me like a red exclamation mark. Cannot display the screen.
Dang. Okay.
I don't get it either. You said there's a slight delay if I join the lobby and spectate from the lobby. You said
Oh
there's
no,
like a.
if you jump into the lobby, you should be able to hold on, let me take a look though if the lobby might be full. No, there's room.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
there's room.
that and I'll figure it out another time. Like I don't know what's going on with my thing, but it's like consistently doing that on my end.
Yeah, yeah, just join the lobby and then you'll be able to spectate. The only thing is that you won't be able to see what I'm seeing exactly, but I mean that's fine. You'll be able to hear me talking,
I
so.
I could run the Twitch stream on my computer and have it on mute so I can actually see what you are seeing and have it synced up. Like I can use my controller to view the same person, you know,
Yeah, that
for the
works
most
too.
part. I'll do my best to stay on top of it.
Yeah, yeah, no worries, no worries. As with the preseason race, working out the kinks and making sure we get a good idea of how races are going to go during the season. It serves as a good testing ground for our broadcast too, to make sure things go well. Okay, so qualifying is done. We'll be waiting for the official go ahead from Dinosaur to start the race. The race is going to be 70 laps around Blue Moon Base Speedway, the infield B layout. It's going to be, again, I also think, just like Division 2, a race of attrition. I think drivers that will minimize the mistakes the most will be the ones finishing in the top 5.
It looks like the ones who also conserve their tires will prove to be able to make the best pit stop strategies if it's a clean race. if they get damaged, everything gets thrown out the window in terms of pit stop strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I think we saw that too in the last race. They pitted so many times that actually I lost track of how many times each driver pitted in terms of their race strategy. But I would assume that the drivers that make the least amount of stops is going to have a significant advantage in their overall race time. So we'll see how that plays out in the end. But 70 laps is quite a long time. So if you can save, like 30 seconds from just getting rid of a pit stop, it could also be potentially offset as well by a faster strategy if you get to lap. If you have to take an extra lap, but you can, for instance, drive maybe, let's say, a second to half a second faster per lap across 70 laps, it might actually be worth taking the strategy of pitting more and going faster. But again, the trade-off is that you're going to be more prone to making mistakes. So quite a bit of things to consider if you're going to be racing today and formulating a strategy.
Yeah. And you may be running that conservative strategy, but that could all get thrown out the window by other people's maybe hasty strategies, and then virtual safety cars occur, and then everything gets reset.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, I'm curious to see how a safety car could potentially change up a race significantly, and if drivers will take a pit stop during the safety car as well, because you'll lose a significant amount of positions if you do that, but at the same time you won't have to pit later. So a lot of decision making on the fly is going to happen. So a lot of quick thinking. The drivers have to be on their feet, and yeah, it's quite a combination of things. To be able to decide how you're going to change your strategy in such a short amount of time. To me, that it just induces panic. I feel like I would just make the wrong decision every time if that happened to me.
yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's anxiety inducing to say the
Yeah.
least of when it's split second decisions you have to make when it's like this. One thing I like to point out is that when season two had it, we had this, the faster Division One guys in the GR3 cars with no traction control, and there were some incidents because they had a different, faster car. It would be nice to see the comparison of the two divisions, and if there are more or less incidents, wipeouts with the same exact car.
Yeah, that's true. Just based off of what we saw in Division 1, like we were talking about earlier, we saw a lot of people spinning out just on their own, and that didn't lead to any safety car incidents or procedures. But I feel like with what we have right now, the top 10 being so close in pace, that I feel like there's going to be a lot more aggressive driving wheel to wheel and potentially more incidents in Division 1 than there would be Division 2. That's just my hypothesis. I don't know if that'll actually be the case, but I think the level of competitiveness is slightly higher too in Division 1. So we're going to see some more aggressive racing between the drivers.
I agree. I'm looking for some three wide around some corners in Division One. We'll see how they handle it, and we know they can stay in their lane, and we know they can drive respectfully. So we'll see how far they push it.
Yep. So we get the go ahead from Dinosaur, our race organizer, and we'll be starting the race in just a few moments. So please bear with us. Okay, so DS Love leads the pack on our rolling start with Toasty and Willie behind. Our rolling starts are single file, so they're not like a traditional NASCAR start. So we get underway here. DS Love will lead the pack, and we hear the countdown, and they're off. So DS Love, Toasty and Willie all get a solid start. And looks like Toasty, though, kind of having a less of a good start compared to Willie. Willie takes the inside of turn 1 and makes the overtake on Toasty. Toasty dropping down to 3rd place, and Stoles in the other Reese's Pieces car in 4th place. And looks like everyone else got through turn 1 pretty cleanly.
Yeah, Toasty seemed to have a little bit of a slow start, but maybe he was just being safe. We know he can make time back on the track. We have a very long time, so maybe he's getting some draft, and we'll be right back up in contention for this place.
So Harm's Way closing up on Zukost, and Dutra getting side by side with Harm's Way. Harm's Way defending on the inside, and it looked like sorry, we just missed it. It looked like Stoles was taking the inside too earlier, defending against it's so chaotic right now. So Stoles still in 4th place, defending against Harm's Way, and I think Willie was defending against Toasty earlier up in the grid. Dutra right now hounding what looks like Zukost at the moment, who fell behind Harm's Way through the infield. Overall, still very clean. No incidents so far.
Very close racing. Dutra and Khan are 0.2 seconds apart. Everyone's on top of each other.
Stoles takes a slightly inside line to defend against Harm's Way. And Dutra right there under attack by what looks like Loogie into turn 1, and then Ryan Higgins and Anthony Colazzo go side by side through turn 2, and oh my god, I almost have an incident there. Anthony Colazzo, I think it was Anthony Colazzo, or it was Ryder, was side by side with Anthony and touched the right barrier in the infield.
Looked like Stoles touched a corner on the interior barrier and went straight and hit a wall. Did not have any contact with anybody, but he was coming in hot.
Oh no. So Stoles has dropped down to last place, it looks like. And there's still like a 6-car battle going into turn 1 for 3rd place right now. Dutra jumps into 3rd, Zukost in 4th, Lukey in 5th, or Akon. I'm not used to saying Akon because it's Loogie. Loogie is easier name for me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I have a different thing up. And what we missed last lap was that Dinosaur made a great pass on the inside on Kip.
Oh, nice.
To move up from 12th to 11th place. Trying to close in on that 8, 9, 10 pack.
So something happened to DS Love as well. So DS Love hit the wall and is now 10th place. So DS Love, our pole position sitter, is sitting in 10th place, taking a peek on the inside of Ryder there into turn 1, but not making anything of it. And having Dinosaur close by, ready to make a pounce. So overall, still incredibly tight field.
Ryder was also showing damage on the front as well as DS Love.
Yep. And it's going to make it especially hard. I was just going to mention it's especially hard to take turn 4, and as he hits the wall there at the exit of turn 4 due to that damage. And Division 2, I was talking about how once you pick up damage, it becomes exponentially easier to get more damage because your steering is all off or your grip is all off.
I feel like Division 1, when people do get damage, I feel like they're going to try to stay out longer and push it and stay with the pack, especially because it's so tight right now. But I think after a few laps, they'll notice the fast decline in lap speed and have to make a decision to pit.
And I think that's the right call for a lot of these drivers, because unless if you have a really good ability to change your strategy and still be pretty optimal, I would imagine the the loss in time of like maybe half a second at most is probably worth it. So Zukas and Luki get side by side at the exit of turn 1, having a little bit of contact on the exit. Zukas taking the 4th place. And then we got Lugi's still not done though. Lugi takes the inside. Oh my god, this is like so intense and tight. Lugi's car and Zukas are both shaking quite a bit, maybe due to connectivity issues, but hopefully they don't have any issues throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, Lugi wants to capitalize on that draft right now and try to give him no room.
And we got like a
I see
three-way
what you're
battle
saying about the netcode.
Yeah, and we got a 3-way battle for 6th right now. Toasty and Anthony Colazzo side by side out of the exit of turn 1. So Toasty's been dropping back quite a bit from the start of the race. I think he might be optimizing on saving tire wear, but he's not particularly saving any more than Anthony or let's see, or Ryan Higgins is using their right tires a lot more, but looks like Anthony Colazzo and Toasty seem to be in a very similar strategy.
Yeah, across the board, it seems to be about just 2 different tire wears. A more advanced tire wear and people being aggressive, and they have all similar kind of 40%, and then the people that are more conservative on it, Dinosaur, Toasty, and some other people, they just have a decent amount more left, and that may prove to be 3 laps of tires, 2 laps of tires more.
Yeah, so looks like Team Toasty is going for a strategy play, saving those tires as much as possible throughout this race, even if that means losing positions ahead. And we'll see how that plays out as the race unfolds. So Ryan Higgins right now currently sitting in 5th place, struggling with those right side tires. But here's the issue. So Toasty with the better tires is now having trouble passing Ryan Higgins while saving Toasty's tires. So track position is kind of important in this race, and it might inhibit, or it might prevent people like Toasty and Zukas or Anthony Colazzo from executing their strategy perfectly. As I say that, Toasty gets past Ryan Higgins and stays on the inside as they go side by side into turn 1. And Toasty, I think, will make it stick, seeing that Ryan Higgins' tires are completely shot on the right side. There you go. And Toasty takes 4th place.
They gave each other plenty of room on that. Very nice, clean pass. I don't think Ryan Higgins wanted to be in a battle position with the condition of their tires.
So Zukas currently sitting in 6th with almost completely depleted tires and damage on the front right wheel. Same with Anthony Colazzo, though Anthony Colazzo's tires are a little bit better. You can see you can see their well, that's interesting. You can see their brake bias, the brake balance preferences on the screen. Is that new from an update?
Oh, that's very interesting, because I'm viewing mine on a different screen and I just see their course map, but I do see on yours how you have the brake balance turn 4 on the
Yeah,
screen.
I don't know how I did that. I don't know if it's like a setting or something. I don't know. I'll play with it later. That's cool though. There's definitely a way to see it then. Huh.
Ryan Higgins is going in the pit.
All right, so Willie leads the race with the 4-second lead over Dutra, and has pretty decent tire wear. So the front right is almost depleted. but with about just over a quarter tank left in the gas, Dutra with completely depleted tires on the right, a controller player, so Dutra uses motion controls, which is very impressive in my opinion, the times that he's able to put down with motion controls. Only about 4 seconds behind Willie, and then Harm's Way keeping up with Dutra, and currently sitting in third place, about a second and a half from Dutra.
Yeah, the fact that Dutra can use those motion controls is very impressive. As a controller driver myself, I did try the motion control, and it's very tricky to say the least to adapt to it. And the way that he races with it is even more interesting after the video he posted. So it seems like Willie, Toasty, and Zukost all go in the pits at the same time.
So it seems like maybe all three of them have formulated the same strategy in their testing. So Willie comes out just behind, it looks like, behind Stoles? It might be
Yeah,
Stoles.
that's his teammate. I think he might be lapping him. But for right now, he's going to enjoy the draft, the free draft.
Oh yeah, because I think Stoles ended up hitting the barrier and then probably having to pit for damage. So Harm's Way in the pits. And let's see where he comes out. So it comes out in fifth behind Khan and ahead of Toasty. And Dutra decides to stay out. So we'll see if staying out was beneficial to Dutra's lap times, and if Dutra will end up still ahead of Harm's Way after his pit stop, or if he'll fall behind. So in comes Dutra, and we'll see Dutra come out once Harm's Way crosses the start-finish line.
Dinosaur made those tires last 16 laps. Let's see if he can push them into a 3-stop or is forced to do a 4-stop. I think his plan's only to stop 3 times. This is what it seems like.
Yeah, and Dutra comes out behind Harm's Way and Toasty. So that extra couple of laps on the racing mediums completely torn away, or likely not a good idea. Although he will have fresher tires towards the end of the stint, but he seemed to have lost a lot of time. So he's currently behind Toasty, like 5 seconds behind Harm's Way. So losing like a net like 8 seconds or so compared to Harm's Way's pace.
And I think that will, if he can maximize pit strategy by pushing that, it's going to come out very close. If Harm's Way and Toasty have to take one extra pit stop and he can get away with it. Or you never know, people may just ride on bald tires for the last couple laps. Toasty did get a pass on Harm's Way just now. Regaining third position.
So Khan up to second place, making a lot of ground compared to Willie. the speed, the sheer speed that they go through on turns 2 and 3 is insane. It looks like they're almost like going through those turns almost like in a fast forward motion. Crazy.
Yeah, the
So
amount of time he just gained on Stoles was very impressive. He's gonna make the pass on him and then head towards trying to catch up to Willie. Although his tires, he will be having to pit a lot sooner.
yeah.
Him and Willie have completely different tires. I think Lugi's going at for all out fast pace, and it may require one more pit stop.
So
Much
the
like
field.
in
Oh, go ahead.
Division Two, oh sorry, much like
No, no,
in
no, go ahead.
Division Two, it seems to have split up, and everyone's kind of just scattered across the course. And it looks like someone just spun out.
Dinosaur and Ryan Higgins right now are currently having a battle through turn 5. Dinosaur was extremely close to Ryan Higgins going into the braking zone of turn 4. So Dinosaur's got quite a bit of pace, but he's got damage on the front right of his car. And then Ryan Higgins has some extremely worn tires on the right of his car. So they're both dealing with low grip on the right side of their car.
I bet you Dinosaur had some choice words to say after receiving that damage. I know his strategy is to go super long on tires, and this probably did not um, play well into his strategy.
Yeah, agreed. And he's losing quite a bit out to Ryan Higgins on the straight. So he'll be losing the slipstream and falling further back down the grid.
Currently, it looks like there's about 5 people who have front end damage on the track.
So it looks like people are slowing down. And I think we might have a safety car right now. So Willie right now at 90 miles an hour right now going through the front straight. And yeah, I think there's a safety car procedure at this moment. And Willie decides to go in the pits. Toasty Harmsway decides to stay out. So Harmsway will take the net lead. But he'll be at a slight disadvantage when it comes to the restart of the race. So Willie, Toasty Dutra. Oh, everyone's going. So Diaz Love, Zukost, Ryan Higgins. Khan decides to stay out. So Khan recently pit. So Khan will jump up into second. So huge jump there for Khan. Or Lugi, as we like to call him.
I saw there was a little bit, someone spun out, but it just looked like a one-person thing. Maybe 2 people were involved with it, and that is what threw up the flag. I saw Kip spun out, but maybe it was more than that.
All right, so the current running order is Harmsway in first, Khan in second. So Harmsway at a slight disadvantage there because his tires are more worn out. Everyone else is pit. So Willie, Toasty, Dutra in 5th place. E.S. Love, Ryan Higgins in 8th. Dinosaur in 8th. Zukost 9th. Ryder in 10th. Anthony Colazzo, all pit under the safety car procedure. Nixon in 12th. Kip in 13th. And Stoles as well. So extremely fresh grid here. Harmsway will have to fight to keep his position with the more worn out tires, but maybe his tires will be slightly up to temperature compared to the people who pit. So he might have a decent advantage on the restart. We'll see. And it looks like we're underway here for the restart. Harmsway goes into turn 1 really quickly, and Khan is under attack by Willie coming out of turn 2.
Willie makes the pass.
Yeah, Willie makes a clean pass on Khan, and Toasty right now in a battle with Dutra, going side by side into turn 4. Dutra making the overtake on the inside and having a difficult exit there, finding the grip on those cold tires. And Ryan Higgins is able to get around Toasty as well on the inside of turn 5.
They're too close for comfort.
I know there's like a 5-way battle here, going too wide, and too wide. Oh, look at that! And Diaslov touching the exit the exit barrier of turn 1. They're so close right now going into turn 4. Dutra, Higgins, and Toasty also close. So Toasty right now fighting with Diaslov for that 6th position. And Diaslov making the overtake on Toasty on the inside of turn 4. And some more action further back. So Zukas right now under attack by Dinosaur. And I think it's Stoles is still technically a lap down, it looks like, I think, right?
I'm not sure if a safety car is going to be called, but there was contact by Luigi on Willie, it looks like, in one of the corners. I think there was no damage by either one, though.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like Willie doesn't have any damage. But he is very, very close to harm's way coming out of exit 4, or exit of turn 4. Will he have the slipstream to take the lead of the race?
The DS11 Toasty race is too close to call. This is going to be, if this is how the season's going to shape up, that's going to be one battle I would like to see every race.
Oh, look at that. And Diaslov takes the outside inside, and then retakes the lead into turn 2. Strong drive by Diaslov so far. And something happened to Toasty. So Toasty's falling further back down the pack. And Stoll's there making an overtake, I think unlapping himself. Or no, he didn't unlap himself. He's still in the mix there with everyone else. He's still a lap down. So everyone else trying to race around Stoll's at the moment. Ryder on the inside of Dinosaur, looking to make the overtake into turn 1. Dinosaur taking the outside, keeping it steady. Losing out on that position though.
Definitely more conservative on the tires the way he took it, but I think I've seen Toasty take it like that too. They're trying to save the tires.
Oh man, so Willie right now extremely close to harm's way, going down the front straight. Willie will certainly have the slipstream to be able to make a pass into turn 1. And harm's way decides not to defend. Harm's way sticks to his line and stays on the outside of turn 1. Oh, and oh my god, so takes the over, goes over, does not make the under, and Willie will take the net lead of the race from harm's way going into turn 2.
The way that turn 1 is, if he was defending, he could have got thrown off because of the abrupt pavement, so maybe he was just happy not disturbing the car's balance.
Yeah, again, like this is a race of minimizing your mistakes, so harm's way probably sticking to the conservative side of his race, not battling too hard. And Toasty right now, speaking of battling, is just right up against Zukas going into turn 1. Doesn't decide to try to make a pass, is avoiding the fight a lot. Oh no, and Ryan Higgins goes off into turn 1 and hits the barrier. So most certainly he's got damage. Damage on the front right, the front fender, the rear fender, and the rear right wheel. So damage all around for Ryan Higgins, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's not an easy one to handle. it makes the car very undrivable. Hopefully he just goes in. I know he wants to be competitive, but yes, it would be smart to drive
Yeah, he
into
goes
the
into the
pit.
pits. So Harm's Way jumps into the pits as well. That puts Dutra into second place. It's interesting. I feel like maybe it would have been beneficial for Harm's Way to pit during the safety car, and seeing that he has less fuel to fuel up his car, he would have been able to get a couple of net positions through the pits without having to restart the race on, more worn tires and less fuel. But I think that's hindsight.
We are approaching the halfway mark, but we don't know what will transpire over the next 40 laps.
So Ryder under attack by Khan there. They go side by side in turn one. Khan taking the inside, having a little bit of contact with Ryder. Oh no, having a little bit of contact with Ryder at the exit of turn two. Khan's car is squiggling a little bit left and right. Again, probably due to connectivity issues. I hope it doesn't affect any of the side-to-side contact that they have going through the corners together. But Ryder is able to defend his position. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I would say he was in third place and went down to 12th, pitted, and then came back to ninth. No, well, what is he in seventh right now? Quite impressive speed that he's carrying throughout the race.
Yeah, and he's got almost no fuel left, so still running from not pitting from the initial safety car. Able to make it work. Got lucky there with the timing, but is still making it difficult for Toasty, I guess. So I guess Toasty's actually making it more difficult for him to make a pass. So Khan is right now stuck behind Stoles, who's a lap down, who's still relatively quick. So Stoles, like, despite being a lap down, isn't like, someone who is slow or anything. And so getting around Stoles as a safety, as a lapped car is pretty tricky. And Toasty there, I think, made a mistake on the exit of turn one and lost
His
position to Khan and Ryder.
his car got a little unstable. I believe he was trying to position to get around Stoles, make a pass, a lap on Stoles, and his car got a little squiggly and lost some time.
And speaking of squiggly, Anthony Colazzo got squiggly on the exit of turn four. Here's a replay of Anthony Colazzo losing the car. Yeah, just maybe a little bit. He touched the right barrier on the exit of turn four and then spun the car and then went straight into the barrier on the left side, unfortunately. Picked up some engine damage, which is kind of rare to see. We saw that in the Division 2 race as well.
I believe, was it Flying Disc or someone had engine damage?
I think it was Flying Disc, yeah. So, despite being in Division 1 and the drivers here being more experienced, they are certainly not what's the word? They are not free from mistakes. Again, this car is probably the most difficult car we've had in the league to drive, being 650 horsepower to those rear tires and very little downforce.
Quite a lot of mixed traffic. 1, 2, and 3 are all in lap traffic. Various people are, scattered across the course, so that'll prove to be interesting.
Yeah, at this point, it's starting to look like an FTGP with the the cars in the lapped traffic, and I think that's who was that in who made a mistake there. So Nixon made a mistake out of turn one, spun the car around, is recovered, but it's unfortunate. It looks like Nixon had just pitted as well and picked up damage on the front right. So unfortunate. Nixon will be stuck with damage for the rest of his stint, unless if he goes and pits now, which I think would be a mistake.
Future passing, lap traffic. And that's where I think some of the mistakes will happen, is that when you have to go off your line with this car on this track to pass a lap car or just pass a regular car, that's when your car gets unstable, and that's when you can go into the barrier quite easily.
Yeah, sir, I agree completely. I think that's where drivers are getting caught out, is where they're comfortable with the racing line entirely and they're got used to it, but then as soon as they have to go offline to defend, or perhaps they have, worn tires, they need to adjust their throttle control a little bit slightly in order to prevent the car from sliding. But check this out. So Dinosaur is currently in net fourth at the moment. So he's essentially got the same strategy as Toasty and is only 6 seconds behind Toasty. So their strategy seems to be working. They're climbing up the grid from like, what was it, like 8th and like 10th for Dinosaur at the beginning of the race. And they're now sitting at 3rd and 4th.
And yeah, they have almost identical tire wear and gas left in the tank, and it looks they're probably going to even be pitting on the same lap as what it looks like.
So Willie also on the same strategy. He's coming in for a pit stop, and I think Toasty will come in for his pit stop. Yep, so Toasty will come in, and Dinosaur will likely come in as well, being teammates with Toasty. And then Dutra stays out. So Dutra, once again, staying on those extremely worn tires and running his car into the barriers on the exit of turn one. Doesn't pick up any damage, but is trying to extract every single second out of those tires.
Oh, he almost lost it,
Oh,
and
no,
he
and he
did
does.
receive
Oh my
damage.
god. Oh, and that's one of
And
the that's one of the risks you pull of running your tires so worn down extremely that you risk spinning out.
the famous "I've got one more lap in these tires," and then you crash and get damage and lose 10 seconds on the track, and you're like, "Oh, if I only pitted one lap earlier."
The amount of times though I can count for when I spun out on my in lap is just like it's too much. Like it's the time a point in the race where you need to be pushing the most, and then your tires are worn out the most, and then you have your fuel weight is really, really light as well. So the car is going to have a tendency to be able to spin out much easier than normal. And given with these cars, it's like it becomes exponentially more difficult to control these cars.
So Dutra landed himself in 9th place behind Toasting Dinosaur, who also just pitted. So let's see what kind of push they can do this next about 17 laps or so. Now we have Stoles and Ryan Higgins battling.
Oh, Ryan Higgins, they're getting really squirrely on the exit of turn one. Keeping that car under control. And Stoles, I think he's still gaining on Stoles. So both of them pretty similar in tire wear. Ryan Higgins has a little bit more fuel.
Stoles did make the pass about 30 seconds ago, and then see my race. Toasty is ever so slowly gaining time, making the gap larger with Dinosaur.
And Dinosaur's got Dutra right on his tail. So Dutra takes the inside of turn 4 into the braking zone. They get side by side. They make contact, but not anything significant. Dinosaur's still able to keep the lead, but only for a short amount of time as Dutra takes the inside, and they go side by side down the. Oh no, it's not side by side anymore, but they were side by side at turn 5. But Dutra has now got the slipstream, takes a look at the inside of Dinosaur's car into turn 1. Dinosaur does not respond. Or actually he does. He sticks the outside and they go side by side through the exit of turn 1. And they're still side by side into turn 2. Oh my goodness. Oh no.
This is nail biting. This is
Oh
fantastic.
It's such good racing between the two of them. And once again, they go side by side into turn 4. This is where it all started. And they continue to fight. Stoll's there a lap down behind and just probably spectating the fight between these two, enjoying himself. Oh my god, they are still side by side. Going down the front straight one more time. Dutra on the inside, Dinosaur on the outside. Will Dutra be able to keep the inside line? Seems like the inside line is a little slipperier on the exit. And he does make the overtake. Dinosaur concedes the position, and I think Dutra will continue on from here.
No bump draft from Stolz to get Dinosaur back up there.
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know if they're on the same team. I don't think they're on the same team, but that would have been funny if they were to help him get back into the battle.
Yeah.
But that was an epic defense by Dinosaur there over almost 2 entire laps to prevent Dutra from passing him.
Willie has a 7-second lead over DS Love and much better tire condition.
Yeah, so Willie right now showing extreme control of the car and tire wear. So Willie pulling ahead of the rest of the pack and still maintaining the tire wear and fuel consumption of Toasty's and Dinosaur's strategy, essentially, because they've been pitting on the same laps. So hats off to Willie right now, who's done an excellent job in the race. And then we got Ryder in 3rd place at the moment. Still needs to make a pit stop though, likely to make one now. Has damage on the front right of the car. And Zukas pretty close behind. Whose pit stop strategy is a little more offset than Ryder's and Toasty's.
Just repairing the damage alone may offset that 2 seconds that he is behind.
Yeah, that's the additional penalty that damage gives you in this game. Is not only does it reduce your handling and your top speed, it also requires you to repair it in the pits, which can be anywhere from a couple seconds to 5 or even 10, depending on how severe the damage is. I don't think I've seen how long it takes to repair engine damage, but I would assume it's significantly longer than any of the other parts on the car.
Yeah. Probably a good 5 seconds to replace the engine.
Yeah, no, right? It's just let's just swap out the engine real quick. Just throw a new one in for you. Zukos right now under attack by Toasty. Toasty makes the overtake on the inside line. Easy peasy, thanks to the tire wear that Toasty's been saving on his car. Although Zukos, though, in the slipstream of Toasty, doesn't look to make an overtake on the inside of turn 1. Stays tucked in behind Toasty. Knows that he can't keep up due to his tire wear, so concedes the position. Toasty jumps up into second place.
It still is feasible for, Zukos to pit. He just hit the wall.
No.
All right. I was gonna say to pit and get another 20 laps out, to the end.
And again, it's the end lap. Like they're pushing. They have light fuel, and I think the fuel tank in this car. And I'm not exactly sure if GT has the position of the fuel tank in the car factoring in on like where the weight gets reduced in the car. But I would imagine if it's in the back, that would magnify the effect that a light car has on those rear tires.
Yeah, it looks like that one wall they all crash into, they can't get their car to turn left. It just kind of sails. They can get a brake or something, just sails right into that wall.
All right, so Harm's Way has DS Love behind him, who's on a fresh set of tires and a full tank of gas, likely to make it to the end of the race potentially. Maybe in terms of maybe in terms of fuel, but maybe not tires.
He's been making them last quite a while. He's got that same distance that Toasty and Dinosaur get. I think he can put 19 laps down.
So DS Love closing the gap down. And Harm's Way made a slight mistake at the exit of turn 4. And DS Love will now have the chance to make this overtake. Does Harm's Way defend? Harm's Way takes the inside of the straightaway into turn 1. Oh, and they go side by side in turn 2. Harm's Way understeers, and DS Love takes the over-under of the exit. Very nice switcheroo by DS Love coming out of turn 2 to take that 6th position from Harm's Way.
Harm's Way said a little Rubbin's racing,
Yeah.
I like to see that. Just a little defense.
I love seeing the switcheroo. So Harm's Way going in pretty hot into turn 1, and DS Love taking advantage of that with a better exit. Classic switcheroo move. Well done.
When executed, nothing feels better than the switcheroo.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree 100% with that. Harm's Way not giving up though, still sticking behind DS Love pretty closely, not losing too much ground. Just up ahead we have Dinosaur under attack by Khan. Oh, who makes contact with Dinosaur on the exit of turn 4. Doesn't affect Dinosaur's car, luckily. So Dinosaur looking to do one more lap before he has to pit. The Khan being a little impatient there. Khan extremely close to Dinosaur coming into the infield section of the racetrack. Dinosaur still has the lead and will defend into the middle of the corner. Loogie goes on the outside to get a better exit, but oh yeah, and he does make it stick, so Lugi with the better exit makes the overtake on Dinosaur, but it looks like both of them will probably have to pit this lap. I know, so only Dinosaur goes to pit, and Khan decides to stay out for another lap.
We're going approaching last quarter of the
Oh my
race or
goodness.
so. Everyone's gonna do their pits, and then it's gonna be an all-out sprint to the end.
Oh no, so Willie just made a crucial mistake at turn 4 and picked
Oh,
up damage on the front right. He's had an
fresh tires
absolutely,
too.
yeah, he's had an absolutely great race until, and he dives into the pits to go fix it. So Willie now, I don't know if it was maybe a last minute panic there, but he decides to jump into the pits right away to go fix his damage.
I think that
Oh
was a smart move
man.
by him because he's gonna give them change, get back out, end up maybe 6th or 7th, and try to work his way up through the pack. Ends up in
Ah,
4th.
that's so unfortunate. That's a tough decision in my opinion. That's an extremely tough decision.
It
So he
is because he
lost.
could have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, he lost. What is it? 7. Like, no, it's not that bad actually. Like 10 seconds ish. And seeing if his damage costs him more than like a second a lap, that was definitely worth doing. But yeah, that might have been the right call.
Especially because it looks like Ryder's gonna have to pit, and then Toasty is the only one he's going to have to compete with at the end.
That's right. So Toasty and Ryder actually has slightly fresher tires, and he's been doing better in terms of pace and tire wear throughout the race. So this might actually come down to the wire between Willie and Toasty due to Willie making a rare mistake at turn 4. Just a second of maybe a lapse of concentration has brought Toasty back into contention for winning the race. So Zukos is in an interesting position where Zukos has the fuel to run to the end of the race, but maybe not the tires. So Zukos might be struggling in terms of tire wear, and Dutra and Khan will be eager to take that final podium position from Zukos.
Yeah, things are starting to stack back up between 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're all about a little over a second apart away from each other, so that'll be interesting who's got the best strategy and who can avoid any damage.
Yeah, so
as I say, the yellow flag comes out,
yeah,
I think.
right. Yeah, so Dutra closing in on Zukos and Khan closing in on Dutra at the same time.
Looks like Ryan Higgins with engine damage. I believe that's where a yellow flag came from.
So at this point, it looks like everyone is set to go to the end of the race.
Oh, we might have an incident.
Who was that?
Love got caught up with something.
Okay.
Somebody.
Oof.
I'm not sure though.
Let's see if I could pick that up. Oh, so that was with, it looked like, I couldn't tell who that was. But it did look like that Dukas was the only one who actually suffered from that encounter, and it wouldn't be a safety car triggered. So Zukos now sitting in third place still. I think it might have been. I don't know who that was actually. So Zukos. Oh, so there is. Okay, so we're slowing down here. Oh my God. Okay, so we got a safety car. Oh man, safety car with 9 laps left. Oh my goodness. So this is gonna be a straight up sprint to the end of the race. So Willie actually went into pit for new tires. Interesting. So Willie decided to pit. Oh man.
Another pit. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy decision. So Willie decides to pit. But I guess that makes sense because they're gonna get stacked up, and he's gonna be not that far from Toasty when they restart.
Zukos is in second, but his tires are really bad. But I don't think he wants to pit.
Yeah. The only issue is that Willie's got maybe he's got Khan and Zukos in front of him. Oh, that's it. He doesn't even have any lapped cars in between them. So, oh man. So Willie though
He's in
making
fourth,
that gamble,
okay.
I think that was smart, to be honest. I think being on fresh tires to the end, I think was a good decision. It's interesting seeing his decision making and these risky decisions to go in pits where normally people wouldn't go pit in. Willie's deciding to take the risk. And at this point, I actually think it's more of a risk to stay out on worn tires.
Yeah, I think Zukos. We're going to see Zukos fall positions relatively quickly just because of the tires. I don't want to see it, but I think that's what's going to happen. They're stacking up. I think we're going to go green soon.
And there he goes. So Toasty accelerates quite a bit now through the first section of the track, and Zukos there getting overtaken by Willie already in the first turn. So Willie had a great start with those fresh tires. Yeah, it certainly, Poole says, is a big brain move. I think that was a big brain move. I think Willie is going to have the tires to put Toasty under a lot of pressure in the closing laps of this race. Oh, and oh my God, he gets so squirrely there in the exit.
Yep. We just, this close, this much pressure at the end. I just don't want to see anybody run into anybody.
Yeah, sure. And then now there's like a 3-way battle for third place right now with Zukos, Khan, and Ryder, and Anthony Colazzo. So all 4 of them fighting for that final podium position.
And Ryder's had speed all race, except for he has run with quite a lot of damage all race. So now that he has no damage, he may be able to move up 1 or 2 positions in these last 6 laps.
So will the difference in tire wear be the winning decision for Willie in the closing final 6 laps of this race? And I think it will make a difference. I think Toasty, feeling the pressure, will have to push his tires more. And I think, oh no, and Toasty makes a mistake and crashes into the wall, turn 1. Huge mistake. But oh no, wait. That was so weird.
Really? Was that some net code or something? Something
yeah,
really
that was
weird
crazy.
happened.
Yeah,
And there was a horn too.
Yeah, oh my God, okay. That's good. So Toasty didn't crash. That was just some
Toasty's
crazy
in the
net
lead.
code or some crazy something going on. Wow. I was scared for a second.
Yeah, my screen did not like that.
So Harm's Way under attack by Dutra coming into turn 1. So Harm's Way attacking Anthony Colazzo, who's very, very got his tires worn out incredibly thin, the rubber there, and gets passed both by Harm's Way and Dutra at turn 1. Anthony Colazzo falling down the pack very quickly due to those tires not being conserved well.
Oh, looked like Stoles gave him a little kiss. I'm not sure if it's too late for a safety car.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think also only one person was
I
involved.
don't think
And
Stolz got damaged, but I definitely was
yeah.
watching it and contact.
So Dutra right now leading this mini pack of cars for 5th place. Dukas on with completely dead tires on the right side. They're defending for his life, harm's way, eager to take that 6th place position from them. Up, and he does
Right,
through turn 4.
slow and steady. He just pushed right. He got that traction and made it stick.
Oh, and look at this. Willie closing the gap down to Toasty, down to less than 1 second with 3 laps to go. Will Willie be able to make the overtake eventually on Toasty? This is very, very close. It's coming down to the wire.
I guess I can't use Verstappen and Carlos Sainz references. I guess I gotta go like Kyle Busch and
Oh, yeah.
Casey Kane or
Yep.
whatever. Chase Elliott. Here we go. There, that's more recent.
Oh, man.
No, this would be great to see Willie. See if he can close the gap in these last 2 laps. Toasty's doing a great job keeping the buffer.
Yeah, and Toasty's tires aren't completely dead, so I think Toasty still has life in those tires. So I think Toasty will be able to push his car quite aggressively in the closing laps. Now Toasty just has to bring the car home, not make any severe mistakes, and I think he'll be able to keep the lead. All right, so here they go around turn 5, finishing up the penultimate lap, starting the final lap of the race. Toasty leads with only 0.7 seconds separating him and Willie, who's hungry for taking that first place win. Oh, Toasty goes a little deep into turn 1, gets the end back end. It's a little squirrely there on the exit, but Willie does something very similar, keeps the difference between them the same.
In the back, the 8-9 battle between DS Love and Dinosaur is even closer, only 1/10 of a second apart. They've been
Oh my goodness.
battling.
All right, so Toasty, though, makes it safely around turn 4 and turn 5 to potentially, looks like, yeah, he will take the win. Oh, man, so Willie will be kicking himself for making that one mistake at turn 4. Willie finishes half a second behind Toasty on the preseason race of season 3. Got a handful of cars coming through right now. So DS Love 8th, Dinosaur 9th, Nixon 11th, Anthony Colazzo coming up to finish in 10th place. Stolz finishes in 12th, Higgins in 13th, and Kip Dunkel in 14th. Oh my God, that was a crazy race.
That was fantastic. Can't wait to see each and every race from now on. That was a wonderful way to start off the season with this preseason opener.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm gonna save the replay and then oh, thanks Bishop. Bishop says good job Token and Wonka.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some very close racing this whole season. I think this track in particular is actually one of the weaker ones compared to the ones that are going to be on the schedule. I think the other tracks on the schedule are actually going to be better for closer racing. So we'll get to see those, and then we'll also get to see the ovals as well. So we'll be running Daytona, and next week we'll be taking a break, so we won't have any races next week due to the holiday. But the following week we'll get round 1 underway, and we'll be broadcasting every week for the next 7 weeks to finish out season 3. And in the meantime, yeah, Token Timmy, any closing remarks or anything you want to say to our viewers out there before we end the stream?
Um, I just want to say thanks for everyone joining the Twitch stream, and to all the racers in D1 and D2. Thanks for putting on a great show tonight, and I can't wait to watch the Daytona Oval after the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Once again, we are LRC Learners Racing Collective. If you want to join in on the fun, definitely check out our Discord. I believe I pinned it on the last stream. I didn't pin it on this one. So let me just get a quick invite link so that people can see and can join us. All right. So just popped it in there into chat. So join our Discord through that link. And then, you can either join us through the multiple events that we have throughout the week. We basically have an event just about every day of the week. A lot of what we do is learning focused instead of competitive. So we like to do things collaboratively and learn collaboratively. So tomorrow we actually have our weekly Wednesday Academy session. We'll be focusing on using weight transfer to help rotate your car around the corners. And every Wednesday we'll have like a different theme around learning, a technique or some skill related to getting faster. And then Friday we'll also be having a fun 3-4 race event with one of our event organizers, Bishop. So hats off to Bishop for hosting that. But with that, thank you for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks.